Well, welcome back. We're here with the black side of. Normally we do Friday 13th, but not this episode. We have moved on to Halloween since it is October. Today I have a new co-host with me, a special guest. I'm lucky to have her. Has is it spell it? Say it again for me. I know we
It's
just talked about this.
Sasha. It's
Sasha,
Sasha.
please.
Just find your inner country and let it fall out.
Sasha.
Mhm.
Here we go. How you doing today, darling?
I'm good. I'm good. Living the dream or the nightmare.
Right.
So,
And just for a little background about us, I put me and Sasha is in a group where we just kind of trade hilarious memes with each other. And I posted one of my videos about Friday the 13th. She reached out to me like, "This is the coolest shit I've ever seen. How can I do an episode with you?" So I like, well, shoot, hit me up. Let's talk about it. And I was so impressed by your knowledge of horror movies. I was like, oh, uh, you're definitely going to be a guest on the show. So here we
well,
go.
thank you.
Well, we'll give you a handle out, and I'm also going to put her information in the description below. So don't worry, you'll be able to find Sasha. I'm
Sasha.
telling you, it's going to be hard for me to say that. I'm so used to saying Sasha. Sasha. Okay, here we
Sasha, yes, Sash.
go. So here we go. So we're doing Halloween, because it's the month of Halloween.
Yeah.
So this episode, I think I want to get into the timeline of the movies of Halloween. Normally, like in Friday 13th, it was really a linear storyline where you had a start, and that start built on the previous one, or built on the previous one,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
way to the end until they got to the
Mhm.
reboot.
Yeah.
Even Freddy versus Jason has some sort of tie-in to
Tie-in
the
or
original
something.
one. So, but Halloween isn't that movie. So,
Nah, Halloween is definitely a beast of its own because of the fact that with Halloween, you had Halloween 1 and 2, which gives you this cult following,
right.
although it wasn't part of the Midnight Madness like your Rocky Horror Picture Show was, it
Hmm.
still had such a following to where people were willing to go to the movie theater just from the name of its own. And it
Right.
kind of gave you, although there were other slasher flicks, this one was kind of different because it gave you a POV view of the menace to society. You don't want to give too much to away, but
Well, I
you
mean, if
have
you
this
ain't seen
menacing
this
person.
movie,
You have Michael Myers. You
that,
have him there, and you're getting his viewpoint as he deals with people
right,
in his own special way.
as he deletes people, let's put it
Yeah,
that way.
Control Alt Delete. He is in it.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about the timeline. So the first timeline starts in the '78 movie,
Hmm.
which we're going to get into the next episode. Basically, they made this with a shoestring budget and made millions of dollars off of it. And
Yeah,
this set the stage for really the slashers of the '80s, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah, of course, there were, other movies like, Black Christmas, and there was some before then. This ain't the first,
yeah.
first person slasher film.
I think that with Halloween, the reason why when you name drop the other ones, they don't feel the same is because Halloween gives you a completely different feeling than your Dracula's or Frankenstein or any of those other things. And when I have Halloween, I group it together with like your sleepaway camps or your even oh gosh, completely forgot the name, but even your other slasher movies because of the feeling you get with it, the texture of it.
Right.
It's like there's a difference between eating spaghetti that your mom made and having SpaghettiOs. Halloween in this case would be your mama's spaghetti, but
Right.
it's the first time you ever had it in your life.
I agree. But and this at the tempo for the next one. So in this one, we find out, who Laurie Strode is. Well, first we find Michael, his sister at the very beginning.
Yeah, you find that Michael has a streak in him, very
Right.
young,
Very young.
um, that doesn't necessarily jive well with his family,
Right.
and he's a peeping tom a little bit
Well,
in
yeah.
the setup. And
We'll get to
there's
that
things you
part.
can and cannot say, right? He's curious, but not the
He
right kind.
right, not
And
the right kind at
right, he's a little knife happy.
all. Mhm.
And then you skip to 15, 20 years later. I think it's 15.
15 years later, yep.
You have Lori with her friends
Mhm.
just hanging about in the same neighborhood. And you find that his curiosity has grown quite a bit
Yeah.
in 15 years.
Well, I don't wanna stay too much on that because we are gonna discuss that in the next film,
That's true too.
but
As the timeline.
the timeline. So we have Halloween '78, which was the original. They made millions off of it, launched the '80s horror craze, boom.
Yeah.
Um, which we know at the end. If spoiler alert, Michael gets shot by Dr. Loomis, and then they can't find his body. It's
Yeah.
like holy shit, where'd he go? So
Right.
next
And then
one,
the second one.
second one is a direct sequel from the first one,
Mhm.
um, where Lori's in the hospital all effed up, and Michael is still after her. So
Yeah.
that's your first timeline. In Halloween 2, I mean, it takes place after the original. Uh, Lori's in the hospital. She's trying to recover. And then they throw in I mean, we can talk in depth about this because I don't think we're going to do
They
it in
tell
depth.
you why. They tell
They
you
tell you what.
why Mikey is after Lori.
Right. That's
And it's
his
like,
sister.
That girl, that Strode girl, that's Michael Myers' sister.
Like,
what?
where did they come up with this stuff? I mean, but it makes sense because why would he keep targeting this one lady? But he
Mhm.
also killed all these. I mean, I'm sorry. He also unalived all these other people on the way to Lori.
Unalive? Unalive
Unalive.
is the word? Okay.
Unalive is a word.
He super deleted them from the timeline. He
Exactly.
Thanos them. Can I say that?
Thanos is a good word. Yes.
Without the snap.
Without the snap. I mean, he was snapped into it. He snapped him like a Slim Jim in some cases,
Some of them, yeah.
but I don't know.
Poor
How do you
nerd.
feel about the whole sister timeline thing? The whole that's his sister.
The sister element was great because at that time period, nowadays you have people doing things oddly because they just feel like it. But in
Right.
that timeline back then, they hadn't seen that type of they haven't seen that type of streak of a person do something like that
Right.
in that way. That
So
wasn't everyday news.
you're okay with
The
the
connection
sister
I
time?
am.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense
Yeah.
for then.
Yeah. So after that one, of course, we see Michael Charboiled and filleted at the end of that movie. So um, then
Yeah.
in that same timeline, we jump to Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers,
Yeah.
where we find out that he's been in a coma all this time in a hospital, you
Mhm.
know, burnt to shreds, but
Yeah.
still alive
Mhm.
somehow
Yes.
because I I remember his eyes being burnt out, but whatever.
What? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I mean, well, through the mask, I don't know, but yeah, if the producers try to make it sound like, oh, that didn't happen. Yeah, yeah, don't look over there. Yeah, but even Dr. Loomis, he's all, he's got a glove on trying to hide his, burnt hands, but nothing really. I mean, he's got a little facial burning, but
Yeah. I think for me,
he
I
should look
thought
like
Loomis
Freddy
was
Krueger
dead.
after that.
I thought no, I really what's terrible is I thought Loomis left the planet. I thought he ascended. I
Right,
thought he was gone. I
right,
didn't I assumed that he was he was super dead with a side of gone, to be honest with you. I just I
right.
thought he was gone
Like
already.
he had
But
a home going and everything. Like,
yeah, like I was there. I
right.
was there at the repast. They gave
Nah,
me the chicken. I was there with Loomis. I don't understand how he came back. So that was fun to see because I was like, I have to watch I have to rewatch 1 and 2, skip over 3 to see if what I thought happened to Loomis, which it
right,
did. So how is he back?
right. And they really don't explain that. They just
No.
kind of say he just was still alive with same way Michael was still alive. They both survived some kind of way.
Sure.
But, so of course that's 10 years after the events of part two. Lori was supposedly deleted in a car accident in between those
Yeah.
years.
Mhm.
He has a daughter named Jamie, of course.
Who picks up
Jamie,
the mantle?
yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis, whatever.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, I
you
don't know
got that too, eh?
if so of course, yeah, he's trying to delete his niece at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then by the end, was it this film or the fifth film where they kind of, said that she has a psychic link with her uncle or whatever after she touched his face, and
Hmm.
I don't
I
know.
think it was the fifth one though.
The fifth
Because
one,
which
okay.
one was Paul Rudd in?
Paul Rudd was in the sixth one.
Okay, well then
Where
it
we're
was the
still in the
fifth one.
same timeline though, but
We're still in the same right. So it had to be the fifth one.
okay, but by the end, the townspeople got together, mobbed up, threw him down a hole in a cemetery, and
I feel
boom.
like they stole that from Freddie, but
Did I?
that's how I feel. I feel like they stole that from Freddie. I do.
Well, I guess.
But
then at the end, you see that they they had options here. Like if we decided not to bring back Michael Myers, we could just move along with Jamie as the new protagonist killer
yes.
person.
Mm-hmm.
So, or should I say eater of worlds person? Antagonist.
Antagonist, yes.
Antagonist, yes. The eater of worlds, if you will. So
yes.
because she ended up attacking her stepmom at the end, and then Loomis was trying to delete Jamie, like, and they were like, "No, you can't delete a kid. What's wrong with you?"
Yes, you can. As we later see.
So in the next one, The Revenge of Michael Myers, we see that he actually escaped through a drain pipe. This dude's got more lives than a cat.
Yes. Like he looked at the schematics of the town and was like, I know what they're gonna do. I'm gonna
wiggle my way
be smarter than the
this
average bear.
cemetery. I'm gonna dig through this hole.
Yes. He had an escape plan.
Right. Like, dude, what? Okay, we'll go with it. This is, for me, part 5 is where they kind of jump the proverbial shark and move. We see that it's like a year after the fact. He's being nursed back to health by some hermit guy who he ends up deleting. Like thanks a lot,
what
dude.
Would possess you to as a regular person, if I saw someone, I'm like, you know what? That Dickie outfit is hitting so hard, I have to nurse him back to health. No,
right.
I'm not going to do that. I'm be like,
I'm calling the cops. Like, hey, there's a strange man floating in the river.
Right.
He's knocked out, but y'all can come pick him up. And he's wearing a mask. And he have his mask on, right?
I mean, he looks like Shatner from here.
Right. Like, yeah, come pick this dude up. Like, I ain't nursing no stranger back to hell, especially another dude. I mean, what? I never understood that part. Like, I think they worked themselves into a corner and they didn't know how to get out of it. And that was their best way.
I think they were trying to, in some ways, I feel like why Halloween went off the rails in certain areas is because they tried to humanize him in a way, or that they either tried to humanize him on one end, like he's a regular guy, because that's the appeal of Halloween. I was talking to a friend about this, and he thought that the reason why Halloween was so appealing is because he's just a regular guy. He could be anybody in a mask. You don't know who's out here deleting people, so to speak.
Right.
Even if you gave the backstory, you're like, nah, I was there. Like, let's say if you're a town person, no, I was there. We put him down a drain pipe. And he's back now. That's somebody else. So your mind is able to see that it's anyone.
Right.
So they humanized him. But then on the other end, it's like we're preying on the idiocy of people, and people aren't that dumb. It's just not gonna happen.
That they are. And then we kind of move on. We find Jamie. She's in a hospital herself at this point. She doesn't talk. She's mute from the events of part 4. She only wants to speak to Rachel at this point.
Yeah.
Which I was okay with, because as whiny as she was about Rachel in the last one, it was just like,
it makes sense.
They shut her up.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So, of course, fast forward, Michael starts deleting people again, and Dr. Luna sets a trap for him. They eventually capture him, even though you think Dr. Loomis has a heart attack beating the crap out of him. They capture him. Yeah, they don't say what happened to Loomis after that. It's like,
Loomis is supernatural, just like
he's got 9 lives. Like, what?
He's just like Michael in that way.
like Donald Pleasance was a terrific actor. He was a seasoned actor.
Yes.
He been active for, what,
Since
40,
Nam.
20 plus years, 30 plus years at this point.
Since
He should
Nam.
have had
Like
enough
he's been
clout
acting
to
since
be like,
Vietnam.
this is some boo. We need to change this. Loomis needs to either die or y'all need to take this part out or something. So unfortunately, they didn't do that. And then he gets, some stranger goes and deletes everybody at the police station and helps him escape.
Sure.
Yeah, that really happened.
The whole entire, this particular timeline, which
That's
when
why
we
I
get
said
into
Pop
it,
jumped the shark for me.
it's not cohesive.
No.
I mean, to be fair though, to the timeline, they tried. And that's really what matters, that's you got to give the participation trophy while you can.
Oh no,
So,
like don't make it if you can't get a good script for it. I'm just of that ilk. If you can't put a good script together, just don't make the film.
it's a good script for whoever did it.
Yeah,
They didn't consult anybody else though.
No, John Carpenter should have stepped in and be like, "Hey, I ain't spending no money on a boo like this." Like,
but he had to make money because of the cult following that was created.
You do have to strike when the iron's hot. So, but then they moved along to part 6, The Curse of Michael Myers.
Oh, cute Paul Rudd. He was so cute. Sorry.
That's right. Mr. Ant-Man was the only highlight of this whole movie just because he became Ant-Man later on. It made this movie a lot more fun than what it deserved to be at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you knew Paul Rudd was a star, when he could take, basically shit and make chicken salad out of it. So was it chicken shit into chicken salad? That's what Paul Rudd
either way, people are eating it. Because Paul Rudd hasn't aged a day since that movie. Like, he was born with that face, and then his body grew, but his face didn't. He is a vampire, and he's Michael Myers. That'll be the plot twist. That'll be that's it. That's it. They're gonna reveal it's Paul Rudd. He's been alive since '73, and boom, that's it.
Right.
As him.
In this film, we learned that Michael Myers is immortal, and he is a part of a cult called Thorn. Which I was like, y'all really waited to the last movie to throw this in here?
They missed the opportunity.
Man,
they threw it in at 3.
That they could.
I'm gonna keep throwing in 3 until we get to it. Cause why?
So Paul Rudd is actually playing the older version of Tommy Doyle from the first movie. He has a radio station who doing spooky stuff. Somehow he gets involved with this crap. Jamie gets pregnant by her uncle. Like, where did the incest is this happening? Like,
I think they said the backstory was they were from Alabama.
I
think that's what it was.
Hey, shout out to Alabama.
Shout out to Alabama.
Shout out to Alabama.
Joke, y'all know it. I'm sorry.
Nobody from Alabama.
I'm so sorry.
So at the end, we see that Jamie gets deleted.
As she should.
Tommy Doyle ended up with the baby. They help the baby escape. Michael gets injected with some corrosive acid stuff that keeps him impaled while they beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
They run off. Dr. Loomis is like, yeah, take off. I got him. I got this. And
again, he's got it again.
And all we hear is a scream and the movie cuts to black. So
it's Soprano style.
Right. Like, okay, so what happened? Who murked who? Like, what we doing? So that was the end of Donald Pleasance. Unfortunately, he passed away shortly before this film actually came out. So great actor. I salute him. He did make a monumental impression on this film, on this whole franchise. So let's make sure we give him his flowers. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get them while he was here.